motion.
Should ask the council when we renew one. Which one's green to be on these ones? Or is that when they meet at night, probably. Sit down.
Sorry, because I've been around that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't make that.
Are we all settled? You good to go? Right. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the council meeting on 16th of July, 2024. My first, so be gentle. As I say, be gentle for the audience, please. Right, firstly, I'd like to open this meeting with an acknowledgement of country. I would like to begin by paying my respect to the traditional and original owners of this land, the Mamarina people. To pay respect to those that have passed before us and to acknowledge today's Tasmanian Aboriginal community, who are custodians of this land. Do we have any apologies for this meeting, please?
From Councillor Erica
And Councillor Campbell has said she may be a bit late. Declarations of pecuniary interest. Nothing. Right, confirmation of the minutes from the council meeting 18th of June 2024. The recommendation that the minutes of the council meeting held on the 18th of June 2024 be confirmed. Can I have a mover, please, Councillor Nichols? Councillor Redmond. 5.2, all those in favour, unanimous. 5.2, confirmation of the minutes from the special council meeting 25th of June 2024. Recommendation that the minutes of the special council meeting held on the 25th of June be confirmed. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Woolley and Councillor Larkin, seconder. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you. Right, 6.0, Mayor's Report. Recommendation that the Mayor's communication report be as listed and received. So a mover for that, please. Councillor Reid and Councillor Nichols.
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you, Mayor Gatehouse, on your election as Mayor. So well done.
Thank you very much.
A question in regards with your meeting with Lyndon Stevenson, the CEO of Community Transport and Area Connect. Are they looking at increasing services, or was it just a regular catch-up?
It was an introduction, basically, to the service. I didn't realise how extensive the service was and how the service is looking to expand, particularly in the more rural, remote areas, and how they now have a number of paid employee drivers as well as the volunteers, so it becomes a more sustainable, regular service. So there are three aspects to their service. There are the sort of door-to-door individual transport service. There is now a timetable service. So, for example, you can, from Primrose to Sorell, this is an example, I can't quite remember the times, that there are 2 weekly trips, so almost like day shopper trips for anybody that's down that way. And there is a timetable service, so you can actually go to Queenstown on bus. I thought that was amazing, quite cheaply. So it gives these people options, as well as outings and other requested services. They also have a trip to work service. So if transport is your enabler to work, or unable to work, then they run a transport service to get you from your remote area to the workplace, with the hope that you then have sustainable work and can afford a transport of your own. So it's a sort of a means to a new start for somebody or a beginning. So it's quite a flexible service, and how just around that, the discussion was around that and how they're looking to expand further.
Excellent. I believe we donated one of our buses to them a few years back.
We did.
Remember?
We did, yeah. Very much appreciated. And Lyndon really appreciates his relationship with Sorell and Sorell Council. It's very, they feel appreciated and would like to be involved like us to be involved with their growth.
Thank you.
Certainly, you met with Brian Mitchell and even-handedly with Susie Bale, the endorsed Liberal candidate.
Yeah.
Did you feel either of the parties are more likely to be more favourable to us than the other?
Well, Brian knows the area, and I already have a sort of working relationship with Brian prior to this position. Susie, it was more of an introduction and a catch-up, and it's the same with all the politicians that get to know, and the meet and greet I've had over the last couple of weeks. We've run through where the community is at the moment, where the community is heading to, and the essential needs that we'll have going forward, and the needs gaps that we have. So we covered basic things with each of the politicians I met. So that's in the need for employment and the lack of industrial land, and social infrastructure that we have and what we need going forward. The community precinct, youth services, training, health, medical facilities, what we have, and again, the gaps. Public transport was a big discussion. Education, the capacity both at Dodges Ferry and Sorell School. Dodges Ferry, very in need for investment. On the wish list is the Sorell to the Southern Beaches footpath trail. And of course, your favourite, the water and the sewerage in the Southern Beaches, that was discussed as well. So basically across all the politicians, including those two you mentioned, that was the focus of the discussion.
It's good to make.
These are the matters on the table, this is our focus going forward.
Good, thank you.
I should have said, actually, before the mover and a seconder, that I've also met with the STCA, the Southern Tasmanian Councils, Rebecca White, and today, the Seniors Advisory Group. That's that. So I should have added those to the list before the meeting. Any more questions? No? So all those accept that report? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Point 8, councillor workshops. 9 and 10, councillor questions on notice, nothing. Councillor motions on the notice, nothing. Point 11, work group reports. Recommendations that the work group reports are listed and received. Can I move up, please? Councillor Reid and Councillor Raymond. Questions? Councillor.
Thank you. Through the chair, General Manager, you're meeting with the IMAS Red Handfish Group to discuss the proposed Blue Lagoon outfall. What was the result of that meeting? Was there anything?
Through the chair, it was more of a catch up with them to explain where we progressed with our engagement with the two consultants, and particularly to get some clarity from Mrs. Jamina and Tyson, one of her researchers, around the joint recommendation, if you like, from the two independent consultants of the potential for the need for circulation modelling to be done to more definitively understand if there are going to be impacts or not to the habitat, which is extends from tidying it down to speculative. And that comes with an associated cost of around $50,000. And we're in a bit of a starlight situation because without that, neither the consultants nor IMAS would be able to say to an extent necessary to satisfy the EPBC process that there'll be no impact to the species or its habitat. So I wanted to talk through some issues around that. And Jamina was good enough to suggest that maybe she will inquire through the CSIRO if the circulation modelling is something they could do, in which case it may be a lot lower cost to council, but we're in a stalemate because we can't progress the DA or the PBC process until we've effectively got sign off from it's effectively IMAS really to be blunt, that they're satisfied that either options, if one option is preferred above the other, or either option is really a feasible option, but they also acknowledge that we've got to manage water levels in the lagoon. So whether it's use of the existing small pipe to slowly manage levels, or if we need to go to the extreme and actually excavate out and open to the beach, just some arrangements around that, and a commitment from council to Watergate, a standard operating procedure which has comms requirements in there and lead times, so that IMAS can consider their options about, more so if it gets really bad, we need to excavate out an opening to manage water levels, so they can best manage the potential impacts to the population that's out there. But they're a good organisation to partner with, and they've been helpful as best they can. But we've got that's an unusual situation where we've got really rare fish in our midst, and you can't just barrel in and do things. You need to
That's right.
give it due regard. But the rain this week was certainly concerning turn, but Dodgers dodged the worst of the rain. So we've got other things we're considering around how else we can better manage the lagoon by way of its capacity and limiting of sediment getting into it, because obviously it's silting up over time and it's got a lot of vegetation you have to contend with. So
There was about 46 mil fell, and I had a look today at the lagoon, and there's still room for more to go in, so.
yeah, certainly the depot staff, up to Dave Reed and Josh Younger, are very aware of the situation. I've put to them a couple of matters I want them to scope up and cost some improvements to be made to the pipe out to the beach. So if we ever have to open it, that there's a better arrangement to filter the stopping and going out.
Yeah.
If possible, but the underlying issue is there, and we can't really get around it unless CSIRO could do the work at no or reduced cost, but we'll find another potential 50 grand to do the circulation modelling.
Thank you.
Jess, I can't find where you are here now, but I was wanting to check how we're progressing with the Southeast Youth Project.
We haven't progressed very much further since the last meeting, but we've sort of summarised the 4 sort of key actions that we're going to take from the recommendations. Progressing talking to the community fund about funding the next stage, and then with the social strategy is completed and endorsed, we'll be in a better position to
Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair, a couple of questions. Firstly, to the general manager, the meeting with STCA, what was the purpose of the meeting, or is there anything of interest to Sorell to report?
No, I won't, through the chair, I try to steal the chair side because the mayor was there as well. I'll give you GM's angle, and then the man
Thank
will correct me with the mayor's angle. It was a regular meeting, but the key issue was the future of the STCA, really. So the Hobart CEO had done options paper for the prior meeting, and this was the formal consideration of a range of recommendations effectively around winding it up and heading down a different path, or two different paths. So I think it was unanimous. As far as starting the steps to progress those stages. So in effect, it's that the Hobart, so the city deal, which the four metros are part of, that Brighton and Sorell would be formally accepted into that, and that a strategic partnership is instead set up for all other councils, similar to what happens to Geelong, it's called G21. So the devil's going to be in the detail around not only with Sorell, but also those other councils that aren't going to form part of that sort of six council group, formal group. It's limited by statute as far as how many councils can be brought into it. And really, Brighton and Sorell are going to get a look because we were named up originally as adjunct councils. We've got CERTA for our little sub-region, and there's the South Central group, which covers Brighton, Southern England, Central Highland, and Derwent. So the future of those two sub-regions needs to be determined as well. But then there's Huon, who has no sub-region. So, I mean, everyone that's in this TCA agreed that it's not anyone really. It needs something different. And rather than replicating another version of SCCA, we're going to pursue how we would set up, set up a more regional, proper more regional approach with what's in existence for the metro. So we'll wait and see. We've tried so many times to get it to function better and be more effective for letting your success. So that's my take on it.
Thank you.
I don't think I can really add anything to Robert's other than to say, as it is, it doesn't function as is, and it either needs taking apart and reforming, or we need to look at some different ideas. And I think the discussion's got to happen with the metro councils, and then come back to us with options that have got to benefit us as well as them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Long.
Through the chair, just had a meeting with the Active Tasmania of the BMX and the South East Stadium facilities. Just give me an update on it.
Through the chair, is an associated backstory that which I've spoken about, which I won't mention at this stage until I get some further communication from some ministers, but that was at the request of Active Tas, so there's some key project stuff that we've been dealing with for quite a while for the stadium build and through BMX, and just we've got a really good relationship with, the old sport record setup, and our contact is based in Launceston, so she was on the way back with a carload of Active Tas reps, and so they came by, because they'd never seen the stadium or the BMX track, so they were suitably impressed and amazed with what was there. And unsurprisingly, they had similar experiences from other organisations who had stayed in with the issues around getting a long-term canteen operation sustainable. Appears to be an issue everywhere in the state.
Thank you.
Yes, I've got a couple of different ones. General Manager, could you elaborate on your meeting with the Steiner School proponent? Happening there?
That was a meeting, through the chair, that was a meeting facilitated by Councillor Reid. And in effect, they're considering setting up a facility somewhere, some southern beaches down, if you like, but I'm set on any particular location yet, but there's on their behalf, there's a growing need or demand for that type of education or that type of educational approach, and they're looking to find a site to set up. And obviously, like most educators, they see the growth in this area. They're just looking at, ideally, because it is interest from down the peninsula as well, for that type of facility as well. So they're trying to work out where's the best spot to find a spot in the first place that would accommodate their size.
That's good. The other one, you're meeting with the General Manager of the Elm Creek Farm Stay.
Yeah, through the chair, that is a bit of a regular catch-up I have with him, Rob Black, just to discuss a few operational matters and just bring each other up to date with what we are doing or wishing to do, and just providing some guidance to them around some considerations they're making about the future, and just sort of acting as a bit of a liaison between them and staff as necessary. But it's having that general manager there has been a different proposition to deal with that side. It's ex-federal group and other operators are quite professional and very experienced. So.
I suppose I was querying that because I saw there's an approval for a dwelling, which could have been the dwelling we approved a couple of years ago, and tea rooms.
Through the chair, I know we did a dwelling over 2 years ago, so it would have had at least one extension. The tea rooms, I'm not aware of that. Is that part of that?
It was in the
Actual reports from.
in the report.
Right, sorry.
So I was just querying that. This one, I'm not sure whether you can answer, but on page 9 about the audit panel, 5 new findings, 3 moderate risks and 3 low risks. And the staff are working on it. Are you at liberty to? Say anything or?
Excuse me, Robert, Judy and I leave, and we've had one of our best friends has just died.
Oh,
You probably know Jeff Gilbert, he often attended meetings here. He's never at the Lions Club, so we need to go out. Thank you.
Sorry for the question.
no, that's all right. I'm not sure whether the general manager can answer.
Yes, through the chair, sorry,
Yes.
we only dealt with it a week or so ago. I'm just trying to find the papers that they weren't particularly concerned. I mean, the TAS audit has a view as to the risk of those issues identified, but they certainly get discussed in detail with the audit panel, and we have to provide responses to TAS audit around what they've identified and how we're going to deal with it and when, which they comment on, and similarly the audit panel reviews that as well. I'm just trying to find the sorry, just flying through some.
if you want to put it
I
on
can-
hold.
Yeah, I can respond, so I don't want to give council a mysterious particulars, but I can't. But easily find what I should be able to easily find, it's always the way it happens.
If I may, through the chair, in broad terms, they're not particularly
Nothing.
significant. So it's medium and low, but in the scheme of things,
They're not significant.
not significant. So
Yes, I just, sorry, the chair was found them. There's generally 3 to do with IT matters, associated matters, which are the 3 moderate risks they've identified, and 2 are sort of financial processing issues, but they're the 2 that are low risk. But the finance manager sends out those interim audit findings to the relevant staff to prepare a response and consideration of what we're going to do, like I said, and when. And we were otherwise content that they're not
Not
particularly
true.
concerned.
Because they pick up on things, don't they?
job.
Things. Thank you.
Councillor Reid, right, thank you. Through the chair, on page 11, the list of the contributions received, and then the forecast for future years in the long-term financial plan, there's the first mention, the stormwater headwork contributions is what I'm asking about, is 0, and then in future years that's an increasing or a varied amount. What's the context around stormwater headwork contributions for those proposed expenditures?
So through the chair, the proposed expenditures to do with through the stormwater system management plan that we've had done through Insura a few years ago now. They are, the majority have come out of their recommendations, and by virtue of us now having the stormwater headworks charging policy in place, the revenue we'll get from that will directly fund those particular components, and it only relates to the stormwater network, principally in Sorell. More so it doesn't relate outside of Sorell. So Paul Markey provided all the detail around those particular capital jobs that we funded out of that contribution. And they're built into our new and upgrade project list that's been incorporated into the long-term financial plan. So, and the full document shows which of those projects have been funded out of that source of contributions.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
The usual. I wonder if in your discussion with House and Water, talking about the future projects, whether they're thinking about opening new bids. But 8,000 people are now shut, as we know. Probably shouldn't think that without employment. If they've got any plans for this.
Well, through the chair, not immediately, there's a number of councils and a number of settlements that don't have a particular water or sewer and should do, and they've got a particular sort of policy position, business investment decision on which ones they will pursue or not. Now, I met with one of the employees on Friday to go through our small list of issues that are ongoing with projects around the place, and I mentioned to him that even though it's been comparatively quiet for a while around the notion of servicing southern beaches, it's issue's not going to go away, and we need to obviously put some thought to what we are going to do about it and what Tasmania's position is going to be in the future if there's an opportunity to get federal funding to do this now. It's something that's easy to say, but you know, Councillor Trines was there. They were first contemplating a cost to do it at that stage, which is now sort of 15 years ago, I reckon. It was in the order of a minimum contribution of $40,000 per property. No opt out. So they haven't bothered, nor would I expect them to have bothered to review those costs since then, so you can imagine the escalation factor.
And the longer it's neglected,
Yeah.
the longer it's neglected, the more expensive. It's an issue of federal and state neglect. I'm not saying it's not our fault, but we should occasionally discuss it so it's on the record if there are serious implications which could be still there.
Yeah.
At least we've thought about it.
Well, I've saw through there, I've saw a briefing from Tas Water, both from the corporate side, also the project and strategic side. So I'm just waiting to see if we can get them both here together at once, benefit the councils. A new council law, we're probably going to be across all the issue, so I was just waiting to hear if that can be done sooner rather than later.
Could I just say, I was of the understanding that at least 70% of the population needs to agree. I'm not sure whether that's true or not, before the government would even look at.
But in any other state, it's not optional. No suburb, 7,000 people in Sydney can say we don't want water and sewerage.
Well, this is what I was
It's
told.
it's a public health requirement, usually compulsory.
Having discussed it with all the politicians that I've spoken to over the last few weeks, they are all aware of the situation, and it will be a conversation around the table. So I think we just keep pursuing that
I
conversation.
don't think anyone expects it to happen tomorrow.
Any more questions, conversations, comments? No, right. Accept that. Can we accept those reports, John, please? Thanks. Yeah. Unanimous, thank you. Right. Item 12, page 47, petitions still to be actioned. I believe there's no change on those petitions and no additions.
No, through the minutes, just I've made some small updates as necessary for each of them, but it's more, we can't do the next step, formal step, finalise them until some matters are able to be resolved, and then so they'll remain there until I get something definitive, or I can put a final recommendation to council around them, I should say.
Thank you. Right, there's no petitions received, so we move on to item 14, land use planning. So this is today's spark planning meeting. The Mayor advised in accordance with the provisions of Part 2 Regulation 25 of the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations 2015, the intention of the Council to act as planning authority pursuant to the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act 1993 is to be noted. In accordance with Regulation 25, the Council will act as a planning authority in respect of those matters appearing under item 14 on this agenda, inclusive of any supplementary items. So it's Sorell Planning Authority minutes, the recommendation being that the minutes of the Sorell Planning Authority SPA meeting of the 11th of June be noted, and that the minutes of the 18th of June 2024 be confirmed. Can I have a minute for that, please? That's what it was in council read as the seconder. All those in favour? Unanimous? Right. So item 14.2, Regional Land Use Strategy, the State of Play report was distributed, and it literally is as is at the moment, State of Play, the position of Southern Tasmania. Now the original STIRS was created in 2011, which was a long time ago, and a lot has happened since then, including COVID and massive growth in the area. So this is a revisitation of that. So the recommendation is that the council, acting as a planning authority, resolved to note the state of play report and the commencement of stakeholder consultation on a comprehensive review and update of the Southern Tasmania Regional Land Use Strategy. So can I have a move with Councillor Reid and a second, Councillor Campbell, thank you. I've given you a bit of background. IGM will fill you in. Robert.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe, so I don't say too much. Questions first.
Through the chair,
Sorry.
if I may. It's not a question, it's a compliment on the state of play report being informative and insightful as a summary of the situation, doing its job as it needs to do, and a great start. So I'm very hopeful about what might come next.
Through the chair, it's been one hell of a project. In that, just getting the state of play report out has been quite a challenge, but we've got an exceptional coordinator, named Dale Frederick, who's been in the UK for a while. She's coming back shortly, but has been working from there as effectively as ever. So the consultants who prepared this report are also doing the review of the strategy as well, it's ethos. It's been quite a task for Dale to get timely feedback from state agencies to this, and it's been a challenge. I think a number of those state agencies have thought this was the strategy review, and we're trying to turn it into a strategy rather than just, as the name suggests, a state of play. And the purpose of this is to get better awareness around what the project is and what it's going to consider, and to improve the public's knowledge of this issue. The catch in all this is that, unfortunately, the state has sort of set up a communications and management framework, but aren't going to do anything about facilitating it or delivering it. That rests with friendly southern councils. So, as part of this project, we've engaged a couple of firms to help with that, but a big part of it is going to fall to the councillors around how they get conversations happening in their area and with whom, and it's easier said than done, but I'll circulate some material as soon as I can around the proposed approach. It may put a bit of an onus on some councillors to, if they have an appetite, to basically look for some champions to go out and have some discussions with interested parts of the community around the project. Happy to help with. Sometimes it's unfortunate a planning degree. Anyway, should be going to be interesting. So watch this space on that, because it's with each step we take with this project, there's some issues that need to get resolved with other bodies along the way. It's been a challenge, but we're getting there, and the review of the strategy proper has started, but that won't come to council in any formal way towards the end of the calendar year. And this thing will remain, just to go out to the community more formally August or September. So there's effectively organised prior to that to make sure it's effective.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
If I may, and I'm not sure if it's a question or not. As you're aware, I'm very keen on an area or a structure plan for the Southern Beaches. And correct me if I'm wrong, General Manager, you said this wouldn't be the time to do a structure plan for the Southern Beaches before the report comes out, is it?
Yeah, through the chair, it's timely, Councillor Turing, to raise it again, because there's other councils that we've since learned, not so much with the state of play report preparation, but around separately that the consultants are working on their methodology for settlement growth, and then how that relates to the Tasmanian planning policies, which the revised strategy must be consistent with. And there's been all sorts of arm wrestling and discussions around this, and there's three non-metro councils that have started structural planning, haven't concluded it, And I think we're hoping that this project will slow down to enable them to finish their structural planning with the sort of that. That's not happening. And so they've got.
But they're still going ahead with their structure plan.
Well, they're halfway
That's
through.
halfway through.
But it can't, it's not going to have a direct impact on regional land strategy. So I guess I'm still adamant and made the right decision that we need to get this process commenced and underway to understand how, from a settlement growth point of view, it's going to deal with respect to the southern beaches in a way that we can then commence the structural planning process knowing what the regional setting is for that type of settlement and its functioning hierarchy in southern Tas. We do know that this next version of the strategy will not go down the path of the first one where it sets descriptive growth scenarios for settlements, low or no growth or high or moderate. So it's actually going to be a lot more, it's going to be based on what's in the state of play report as far as being a more layered approach to the constraints and opportunities with settlements, how you can grow them or not grow them, or where you should grow them or not grow them, and also how it fits in with the other, obviously that hierarchical approach of other settlements and their function in the southern region. So it's not going to be an easy process for some councils, we're in that boat, but I still think it's a better way to approach it. The southern beach is going to be quite a task
Well,
to deal with.
that's where I'm coming from, and of course the southern beaches links in with what Councillor Hawley said earlier with water and sewage. No water and sewage, I would think there'd be very slow, hopefully, there'll be very slow growth down in that area.
Through the chair would absolutely affect the density growth. If there's any growth.
Well, infill, I can understand, but ribbon development and using farmland, which I believe there are certain people wanting to subdivide some farmland in the southern beaches. As far as I'm concerned, it's so terribly wrong. I think we need to be looking, anyway, that's a discussion for another time.
Any more questions? Right, all those in favour of that recommendation? Was there a question? No? Thank you. On to item number 15, Councillor of Representatives. Recommendation that the council resolves to appoint council representatives as nominated in the accompanying table to nominate a councillor representative to the vacant Sorell audit panel. Would anybody? Oh, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Lee, Councillor Reynolds. Do we have any volunteers from the council for the audit panel? Councillor Nichols, are you interested?
Yeah, okay.
That was easy.
She's good with numbers.
I said I'd have a go.
Before Councillor Nichols changes his mind, all those in favour of the recommendation? Thank you very much. 15.2, disposal of public land, Amelia Court. Recommendation being that the council resolve to dispose of the public land described in the certificate of title volume 140801, folio 23, Amelia Court, Sorell, pursuant to section 178 of the Local Government Act 1993. We've got a recommendation, Councillor Reynolds, Councillor Larkin, please. Open the floor for discussion on this one. Any further? Councillor Reid.
Thank you. Through the chair, General Manager, what? I guess it's a bit of context in terms of I would normally be hesitant to support sale of public land because we're custodians of public land for the long term, and it's difficult to judge what the long-term changes may bring. But in this case, it seems to be a very sensible way to activate the public facilities nearby. My only question really is, that original parcel of land, was there any purpose for it originally, or was it just the prescribed allocation for that subdivision?
Through the chair, we can't find anything beyond just that. It was,
And I don't know either.
yeah. But that was, I mean, there's no criticism of prior practice, that was just
Yeah.
the approach was just to effectively get the land as a required contribution, and it was, the manner in which it was developed for later consideration was uniform across all councils.
And can I have if I may, a follow-up question? Expression of interest is the process. Is there, can we put conditions around that or objectives around that in terms of the purpose of the land? In terms of who purchased for what purpose?
Through
I'm thinking supported housing or something that we might need in the community.
with the answer is yes, we could,
Okay,
but it obviously then just limits the
Yeah.
the viability of it. It's otherwise just a very normal large block of land, flat, zone general res service and open.
two bodies?
It was, it's currently, it was 2 tiles, it's shown as one large one, but it was originally 2 in the area. So, obviously, opens itself, and we discussed with the 2 independent real estate firms around, from a marketing point of view, if it's better if one title or 2, and we also discussed at length with the planning manager around the brokenness of whether we try and curtail it or not to single-story dwellings or 2-story. It raises as many questions and provide answers around, getting the best use out of that land given the housing situation we're living in. So, the result best retained with one larger block. But if that's the view of the council, then that could be part of the EOI process, but it would just be aware that it would certainly limit the marketability of it.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Just, the funds raised from the sale of this to be used for a playground in over the way here. Could it be something like the Linden Playground, Linden Park in
Yeah,
Paulina Road, because it is so popular? And,
Yes, through the chair, we haven't worked out what it would be, other than some years, the intention was always if we were able to sell that, the newly caught property would go to some type of playground facility at Pembroke, and where and what hasn't been resolved, but it would need to be, respectfully, closer to that newly caught subdivision area. It's an existing sealed pedestrian right of way to Pembroke would lead into it, so there's certainly room there, but we're going to be doing a playground or this area where we can look at where and how we may improve our existing facilities and also use it as well to inform what this facility would be like.
It's certainly an opportunity to have
Right.
a pretty good playground in that area.
Yeah, that's why selfishly I'd like to get maximum amount of revenue from the sale that is possible, making it a great positive.
Thank you.
All those in favour of that motion? 17.1, customer service strategy. Recommendation, the council resolved to endorse and revise
the revised customer service strategy 2024. I have a Councillor Larkins, so a good strategy, I think, built on data received and recorded during customer interactions throughout the period. Would anybody like to discuss any questions?
If I may, just a comment, just wanted to commend the staff on 94% inquiries resolved first touch point. That's a really good effort. Congratulations.
All those in favour of that recommendation? All in favour? Thank you. Page 83, item 18, executive summary financial report, June 2024. Recommendation that the executive summary financial report 2024 year to date be received and notified the council. Can I have to move with Councillor Nichols and Councillor Worley? Any questions regarding the report? No.
A comment, if I may, a very busy time of year for the finance team, reflected in all those reports and preparation for audit and so on, in the financial year. So just commending the team as the audit panel has as well, for all the work that goes into it.
Absolutely. That's it then. All those in favour of accepting? Unanimous. Nothing further in, apart from questions from the public. Would you like to stand up and clearly state your name, please, Sharon, and present your question?
Do I have to? Just for your first night. Sharon Fotheringham Fawcett.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
Ma'am.
Would you like to use your question?
Oh, God. It's on behalf of a friend, Mrs. Kathy Manusi. She has a residence down at Primrose Sands on, let me see the name, Tamarix Road. And 2 meetings ago, she brought up a question about a dangerous drain on the corner of Marine Street. And you're going to look further into it. She received an email from a Tim Watson, but just said that he was looking at it, and then for 2 months it's just gone, nothing's happened, and the drain's still open and it's still dangerous, and she's wondering what the council is doing about it.
Through the chair, I've spoken to Tim about it, provided the background to the question. He's provided some information around his dealings with Kathy around this issue, so I'll have to check in with Tim, but I thought the matter was resolved, so I'll have to find out what's happened from Tim.
And I was talking to Kathy today, and she said it's still dangerous and it needs attention, and she was just asking if there'd be a follow-up.
Well, it may be through the chair, it may be that the engineers are content that what's there is fit for purpose and is quite safe, so that might be the issue, but I'll need to check with the staff on that.
Thank you.
Sorry, Sharon, what was the name of the road?
Tamarix, the corner of Marine Street and Tamarix Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Grace. Do you want my name, do you?
Yes, please.
Right, Did Ladiga at Dodgeston. Right. Just wondering, Street Committee has been no longer in existence. Why? Because you don't think it's been done.
I'd have to refer to the GM for that.
Nichols, Sorenus and Reynolds.
It hasn't all been done.
That's
We
what
haven't-
I'm
no,
wondering.
we
Why
haven't.
is the committee
It
no
just sort
longer
of faded, it faded away.
Why doesn't Sorell recognise it's past the convicts, the people who are here before us, and advertise it. You know, I mean, it seems to me you've got an opportunity to do something to attract people to the area, and I don't think anyone's doing anything.
I totally agree, we have lots of opportunities, excuse me, and we absolutely do need to do something to make Sorell a destination town, and I think we have to look at all possibilities. And it's certainly not an off the table matter, we certainly come to the table with all sorts of ideas, and I think we have different ideas around the table at the moment. And I would say it's work in progress, and it's something that will definitely come up in the future around what we can do for this town to acknowledge what Sorell is and where it's come from and before. And I'm certainly very keen to look at options going forward. It's not a conversation that I've had with the GM as yet, but certainly as the new mayor, it's something that I'm keen on advocating for, to develop the culture of this town and make it a destination point as well as a service town.
But we have a history.
Absolutely, we have a
We need
history.
to, I mean, to me, what's past, I mean, whether it's good or bad, I was talking to Michael today, and, you know, some people don't like different things, like statues they're putting down for some stupid reason. History is there, we can't change it, so we should acknowledge it, whether it's good or bad.
Absolutely, we should acknowledge it, and the history that goes back way before 200 years as well. History did not start 200 years ago. So yes, I'm very keen to talk to the team here at the council, and yes, that's a conversation we're definitely going to have.
One other question, this is nothing really to do with me, but I'm just a sticky beat. Rob Lewis is looking at doing the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, you know, Carnival or whatever it's called. What's the council doing for him, if they're doing anything?
As far as I'm aware, he hasn't approached me directly as mayor. I'm not entirely sure whether he's approached the council.
He did once last meeting.
Beyond the last meeting, I don't know whether he's approached them formally, so I'll have to be informed on that, and then I can get back to you with a response unless Jess or Robert would like to talk to you.
Well, I only know there's been further discussions with him, but I haven't been part of that, so I don't know what's actually progressed.
The relevant staff were arranging a meeting.
So yes, he has been in touch with the council, and there is a meeting to be arranged or is arranged. So we can fill you in on the progress at a later date. Is that okay? Thank you very much.
We can go now.
If that's it, then we will.
Sorry, Mayor, just on 15.1 with Councillor Nichols joining the audit panel, should that have been a minor amendment to that motion, or was that? Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you, that was. Just making
So
sure you
what-
carry the one.
So we'll
Bushy.
close the public meeting at nearly 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. Move to close meeting.
Still live to do it too, she's got to.
It's still on camera.
Stay alive.
too.
Is that your best name?
We're done. Taller than you. You don't need to bow, I'm already